2024.
Diablo.
CAP 2024. CAP.
OnlyFans 2024. OnlyFans 2024.
These guys are all psychos, man. Garza, hey, Gabagool.
Selma side
It doesn't matter
Forget
what you
about
think.
it.
Rashid.
Hey, there's only one song on the side.
I'm Batman.
Rashid
Salma said what?
2020.
700.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
Hey, Vincent.
Bunch of psychos, man.
It's so worth it towards the end now. I hope everyone stays from now on just to like do that little spiel at the It's so funny. Even Pudgy came out of mute. It was so great. Pudgy's like usually the only guy that stays mute the whole time. And when I saw him unclick mute, I was like, oh, here we go. It was fun. But John, man, how's it going? How you been?
Good. Feeling a little under the weather today, yesterday and today. But sunny day. We're here relaxing, talking collectibles. It can't get better than this.
Awesome, man. Well, hopefully it's nothing crazy. I know a lot of things are spreading, so like nothing crazy.
It's like the end of the world again. This weather's crazy. Everything's crazy.
Yeah, I got a tan today. It looks like I'm freaking hot outside. That's cool. How about you, CC? You get your tan on?
No, I was stuck at work all day, and it's been raining for like 4 days, so.
None
No
of that
tan
tan
over
stuff.
No. Pasty
That's all
whiteness over here.
Pasty. God. I didn't say it, so it's cool. How was your weekend, though?
It wasn't too bad. I wasn't as productive Saturday as I wanted to be, but and then I worked yesterday, so. Yep, not bad.
All for SDCC, right?
Yes, yeah. That was worth it.
I feel like no one's going to sleep those 4 days that SDCC is going to come on because everyone's just going to be either wasted or just too tired from all the con and all the sun. So.
You definitely will be saving time because you won't have to photograph sideshows, so it's perfect.
It's true.
Too soon? Too soon, sorry. Okay.
Cool. Sean, man, happy face, man. Look at this guy. Looks like
yeah, man. Already.
I thought he was one of his students for a second.
Hey, you know what? It would be okay to say that because you know what? I am on summer break, and you know what? I did get a little bit of a tan this weekend, so
yeah, I see.
Things
it
are
looks
working.
good.
Things
man.
are working out.
How was your weekend, though, man?
It was good. My wife had their annual corporate cup, so a bunch of companies around the city get together and they do sporting events. And we went down to support her. She did a cornhole with another guy that she works with, and they went to the quarterfinals. So they, but she thinks the other team cheated because they were supposed to be one guy, one girl, right? And the other group had two guys or something like that, and one of the guys was like killing it. So, but other than that, it was fun. I got free beers, so
yeah, you were cheering her on.
Yeah.
Let me take my shirt off.
So you're the one I really want.
Yeah.
Have you seen the meme where it's like a cartoon drawing, and it's like dads whenever AC/DC comes on, and it's this. Oh wait, what was it? Damn it! It was like dads whenever AC/DC comes on in the middle of a Chili's, and this guy just like takes off all of his clothes. He's just sitting there, like standing there with his like New Balance and socks on.
Not
I
yet.
have not reached that dad level yet. It's in my future, I swear. My dad does it.
I haven't seen that yet. And I work with a bunch of old guys at work too, so hopefully I don't see that anytime soon.
long tube socks and white t-shirts, gym shorts, and New Balance.
I did see a lot of that at Philadelphia Fan Expo. Like that New Balance is like looks like the most comfortable shoe because all the older dads were wearing them, and I was like, God, I gotta get me one of those, man.
It's the New Balance, the white socks, and the cargo shorts.
Asics, man.
Jesus Christ.
Asics
Cargo
are the ones to go with.
I got Asics right now, and those were those were comfortable, but man, like you don't realize how much weight you're carrying around. I had a book, I had my laptop, I had all my clothes because I got there really early, and then by the end of the day, I was like, I only got 17,000 steps. Like 17,000 steps is like nothing, you know, with those Asics that you were mentioning. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, what's going on? Am I getting old? Is something going on? But then I put my book back down, and I was like, wow, I feel like a feather now. Like, what's going on?
You put the book back down. You were Mary Poppins. You just started.
Yeah.
Start floating.
It was
you got
insane.
when you got size 18 shoes.
Size
A6,
18?
18, man. The A6 they came in handy, and wide.
Jesus Christ, buddy.
Yeah, I got fat feet, so I got the wide shoes. What's
4E
wrong, John?
even.
I would have fucking said, hey, we found Sasquatch. Size 18. Fuck.
I've decided to shave off my fur.
Nice.
We were
I
all
just need
set
Iron
in
Studios
there,
to
but
follow.
I'm not gonna throw my hat in the ring on this one. That tiny feet. Sorry.
Oh, John. But first topic of tonight is Cece. Cece wanted to bring up. I don't know if
not
I. It's not feet. It's definitely not feet. Yeah. Sorry, you guys. So I didn't know how to word this, but I put it in like this: duplication in a collection. How much is too much? If you wanted to go into a little bit more in it.
Yeah, so rather selfishly, I think it's just because of what I'm thinking about buying. Besides the fact that there's a few things I could be spending my sideshow points for, but there's a EFX Darth Vader helmet.
Oh, you cut out CC.
Oh,
It's
can
always
you hear me
doing
now?
There, you're back.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
I can't do anything to fix whatever problem that is. But like how many Darth Vader helmets does one person need?
Well.
So
Wrong people to
Right.
ask, but it's okay.
but that made me think of like there's people who literally made a name for themselves collecting one character. So for them it's like it's not a big deal to have 5 statues of the same character because it's what they do. But for me, I'm like, how many Darth Vader helmets does one person need? It would be my third one if I got one, another one.
Okay.
I should have got that clip from that guy that says another one. Another one.
DJ Khaled, yeah.
DJ Khaled, yeah.
That's when
So-
when Hot Toys used to reissue. That's what I used to post on the Hot Toys page.
Another
Yeah.
one. So you're saying this with like the helmet that you mentioned is the Darth Vader one. That, including everything else you're collecting, is your worry, right?
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily come up. Well, I think it's come up before with art prints where it's like, you know, how many Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars prints do I need versus any of the other movies, or you know what I mean. So I think it's come up before, but with art prints, they're all so different. It's kind of like that's how I justify it. But with helmets, if you've got 2 helmets that you know have the same sort of, they're both licensed, they have the same kind of quote unquote lineage or whatever, it's like you really need 2. Do I need one that's like idealized and perfected and then one that's not? Or can I be satisfied with just one of those options?
Well, can you?
Well, I think that's the question is like, how do people justify having like 5 Batman statues where they're
How
museum
dare
pose
you
and they're
use
all
Batman
black,
as an example.
like black suits as opposed to blue suits? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think because I wanted to bring up Batman, I also want to bring up Iron Man too, but I think with Darth Vader, especially with a lot of the newer content that's out, isn't his mask just slightly different than
yeah,
something from like A New Hope or Return of the Jedi versus Kenobi or Rogue One, you know, stuff like that. So I mean, I guess it would depend on the depiction of Vader that you want in your collection, right? Like if you're really into a battle damage helmet from whichever episode you want to pull from, or a straight up one or whatever, you know, I think it kind of depends. I mean, I think Batman's a bad example because you have so many suits that you can go from, if you're classic, if you're comic, if you're movies, you know, I think it's something I want to talk about on Small Talk because it's like a Batman figure coming out every other week, you know, or revealing every other week.
Nothing wrong
which
with
is
that.
cool, but it's
how do you choose?
Right,
Like,
you know,
if you want more than one, how do you decide? Because I think you're right that Batman's probably not a good example just because there's so many different like nuances to the character, and you can get a statue that might be influenced by like a comics, like a story that you really
A
appreciate.
Jim Lee versus a Capullo, or
Yeah. Or like me, like you movie ones, and what iterations are your favorite when it comes to the movie statues. But with Vader, the nuances between the helmets and the suits are not complicated enough to, in my opinion, even though he's my favorite character. Whereas there's people who collect Iron Man. There's how many freaking suits?
Not,
It's
not
incredible.
enough.
I think though with Iron Man, that's kind of the MO. You know, he has an addiction for either one, just building the suit, or two, making the suit because the other one wasn't. The other one didn't do something that hurt someone he loved. You know, so I think you could cross over Iron Man suits a lot, whether it was comic or MCU, and kind of play them off a little bit.
I guess CC, is there one in particular that you were looking at from like a certain?
If you go to
company?
Sideshow and just search Darth Vader helmet, it's the EFX one. But I was trying to find a link that goes into.
This one right here.
That could be it if you click on the actual link.
You're gonna end up finding
Yeah.
another one.
I know, that's what I was hoping. She's like, no, but I do like that one. So for me, it's about like, if I were into these helmets, and if I were into the movies as much as other collectors, I would definitely try to get the most premium, most authentic, most viable to me. Like if there's different ones, right? There's one with red lenses. There's one with like a larger helmet. There's one with like different materials used. I get one that, for me, I don't know. 3 is too much for me. Like 2 is too much for me. 1 is like, I would try to settle with 1, but it is kind of hard too, right? Like there's different movies, different iterations of it. And you already have 2, so why not get the third one?
Well, actually, let me send you a link that might be a little easier. So actually, staying on this one though. So this one from EFX has made 3 different Darth Vader helmets. There's one that was called the Limited, and that one was like idealized. It was more symmetrical. It still came from the same like lineage molds. So when back in the day, they realized they couldn't find the molds from when Brian Muir did the sculpt of the helmet. So they're like, oh shit. So after the first movie, after Star Wars, Rick Baker, who I'm pretty sure he won the first Oscar for like makeup, movie makeup, he made molds of the screen used helmet. So EFX, the 3 helmets that they've done came from those molds. The limited edition one though, they made some changes. They made the paint looked better. It was a little more symmetrical, wasn't as wonky, that sort of thing. Then they did a Legend one. The Legend was the same as material as far as the limited edition went. They're both fiberglass. And then it was more accurate to the screen used. So it had like the messed up paint that wasn't perfect looking. So that one I think would be like the best option if you're looking for one that looks accurate to the movie. But knowing that I think at the time it was like $1,000, they decided using the same molds to do a PCR is what they call it, because it's plastic. It's ABS plastic versus fiberglass. That's what this Sideshow one is. Hence why this is $350 as opposed to $1,000. But it has the same lineage. It came from the same Rick Baker molds, but it's not as idealized like the limited edition one was. I have an Anovos one, which is idealized. I'll send you. So in the private chat, I put a link to a website. I don't know if they actually talk about the Anovos one, but it features. Oh, it stops at Anovos. Okay, so the website hasn't been updated, but it gives you like an idea of how many like licensed replicas they've made. So like the Dawn Post was the first one you can get, then the Master Replicas, which was licensed. Sideshow obviously did the bust. I don't remember. I don't remember if Elusive Concepts was licensed. So that they do have the EFX Legend and limited edition. Yeah, so that's that one. The Macquarie Concept one, that one sells for like 10,000 or so now.
What?
I'll take
One?
2. I
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
3 of those.
Let's get these really quick.
I like Glass Joe's comment. That's a true fan right there.
So I don't see.
Wow, Joe. How dare you?
Yeah, this
He
one a lot of
knows, he
people
knows.
had issues with like the part of the neck breaking, but it's based off concept art, and a lot of people have tried recreating it. But what's difficult to recreate is the color. So it's like almost like a really so dark blue it looks black, like automobile kind of paint. So in the light, when it hits it in certain ways, it looks blue as opposed to black.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah, those are the last one I saw. I think sold for 10,000. And I know someone who sold theirs for 12.
If you're a real collector, you would get this one. CC just put it out there. Oh, that is cool. I don't know.
That you can see what I'm talking about with the blue.
Yeah, I like that. What do you think, John?
What do I think about all of this?
Well, she's going into this like trials and tribulations of
I
decided going on the third one.
I look at it like this. I look at it. First thing you need to look at is, and this kind of leads into the other topic we're going to talk about a little bit. But I think most important before anything is budget. Before you even start looking at anything, is sitting down and saying budget, because you will 100% come across something you want, whether it's a third helmet, whether it's another art print, whether it's anything. On the BSTs, on Facebook, on anything where we're getting these updates, you're going to come across something you love. So you need, for me personally, I would sit down and say, this is my budget. This is what I'm allocated for the year towards collecting. This is what I want to be around. And work from there. Is 3 Vader's helmets too much? Of course not. If you love Vader, and if you love Vader as a character, why not? Right? I love Batman, so yeah, I picked up the Batman pieces that I wanted and multiple representations, and I'd keep going. But again, you set the budget, and the budget for me is what determines how and what direction I'm going to collect in. The word focus, which I know some people don't like. But no, I don't think. I think it's how you want your collection to be. If you want it to be Vader centric, and then you have your Vader representation. 3 helmets, no, that's not too much. As long as you have the space for it and the finances, collect away.
And I think I have the budget and the space for it. But it's one of those things like,
Do you picture yourself happy? Like you look at you sit back in your collection and you say, well, I have this Vader helmet, that Vader helmet, and this third one's different, and I'd like to have that representation of it. It means something to you because you're going back and forth on it.
right. I think it would probably help, because as happy as I am as I'm looking at it above my computer, as happy as I am with the Anovus one, I think I showed it on this show. Or was it
Maybe
unboxing?
Monday. I think it was
Like
Monday.
yeah, maybe it was the Monday show.
Yeah.
It's heavy as shit. I think it weighs like easy almost 15 pounds. It's fiberglass. It's gorgeous. I'm incredibly happy and fortunate to own it. But I think at the back of my brain, I've always wondered, like, well, I do like the things that are a little irregular and look more authentic to what was on screen. And I know that helmet, as beautiful as it is not tick that box, because it's idealized and it's more symmetrical and they cleaned it up and stuff like that.
But it's a representation that you're happy is in the collection.
Yeah, like I'm thrilled with it, but I think that maybe getting that EFX PCR, which is like $150 more than a Black Series Hasbro helmet. They're both plastic, but this one has lineage. Maybe that would scratch that need to have something a little more accurate. Yeah.
But that's something to understand as well, because I appreciate what Steve said. You want the best representation in the collection. The problem with that is the best is always being topped,
Right.
and it's just it becomes endless. So will you see another Vader on the market afterwards? Sure. Will it be better? Who knows? But that's something to consider as well. Is do you sit back and wait a little bit, see if another one comes out, and maybe if you don't like that new rendition, maybe this one will drop in price a little bit. Maybe it'll go up. You don't know, but you gotta take everything into account. Because then, yeah, how if there's 20 Vader helmets that come out? Are you gonna get all 20?
Right.
Probably not. It's
And if anyone's curious, we've had him on the show. I think we did I say we, I don't think I was on the show. A collector spotlight. There's a guy named Juan Fernandez. He's known as like the Vader guy. If you see his collection room, I think he's got like at least 30 Vader helmets.
yeah. See,
All
He loves
with
it.
different
That's his
lineage.
representation. Yeah, he loves it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely, and that's, I don't want to be that person who's just surrounded by a bunch of Vader helmets, but it's made me question, like, if there are people out there who collect just one thing, one character, and they have multiple iterations, what makes you decide to do that as opposed to kind of broadening your focus and collecting other stuff? Not that there's
And
any.
you gotta want this life.
Sorry.
Not that
Not
there's
that-
anything wrong with that, because like, and it's funny, I've heard people tell me like they have sympathy for anyone who is a Batman collector because there's so many different versions out there and different products as far as statues and art prints and
It
small
doesn't
scale
end.
figures and hot toys and reissues and like that kind of stuff. And then Iron Man too. Some characters are just represented a lot more than others.
I did hear you say earlier that right now budget and space isn't an issue, but those are the two biggest things like we as collectors always face later on. Maybe not budget so much, but space is like the number one thing on top of everyone's list. What we don't respect enough, I think. So I feel like I also hear this a lot too. Like, what's on the chopping block? What can you get rid of when you hit that wall? And I hate when people. I don't hate it. Well, I don't like it as much when people say it because it's like, well, I got all of these because I love every single one of them, and now you're asking me what's on the chopping block? Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
But then that's the issue right there. We started this this adventure together, and now we're hitting that wall, and we just want to bust that wall. And right now, luckily, CC, you're in the very beginning where you could say no to this third helmet, but also got to remember a year from now, maybe 2 days from now, like you start collecting a ton of things, and you're like, oh crap, I'm out of space. Like, would this be on a chopping block if you were to run into that wall?
I think, and it does kind of, and John knows this, like, and we've talked about it. I'm an erotic planner, so I think that I'm leaning towards getting this third helmet because I also wanted kind of like a Vader centric display. So I wanted the Iron Studios Darth Vader on throne from Kenobi, and then underneath it, his Tide Bands, which I think used to be next to me. And then like a few concept things, like a statue I have of him and Luke fighting, the Kotobukiya set, and
Bless you.
the sabers, and
I
that
was
kind of
waiting for
stuff. So I'm like, I think the Vader would fit well next to a ship, and that could be like a good represent, like a Vader shrine, if that makes sense. But it's one of those. You're right. If there's I don't think there's another more accurate. Well, there's always a more accurate Vader out there, which is custom, not licensed. It's always like not like backroom deals, but they're not advertised. You have to like either know someone or be really in tune with the community to get on runs like that. And the few people I know who get Vader helmets made, the wait for those could be years long. They're not something that's like you order it and then you wait 6 months or a year. It takes a while because there are people making them in their garages. It's not like licensed operations. So for this, the fact that it's licensed, I'm buying it from the sideshow with points, I think makes it a pretty attractive, more accurate looking Vader helmet than what I've got right now. My other Vader helmet, by the way, because I keep saying 3, is the melted Vader helmet, and I'm not getting rid of that. Like, I'd have to live, even if I was living in like a cardboard box, it would just be me and that helmet in the box.
All right, CC, we know you have a problem. But what's his name? Anthony wanted me to bring up this picture real quick, and we all know this guy. He collects only Magnetos. Yeah. Have you seen this, CC?
I have. I forget whose show, but not the whole picture. I think I've seen like a shelf.
Yeah, we had him on the show once or twice.
A while back now.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He lives close by too, but man, like this guy has like insane focus where he said he's almost done collecting them, but like we all face this issue too where a better one comes in. Now he's getting this bust that a custom group made of Magneto, and now there's another Magneto that's on the horizon. I was like, man, this guy's he said he was going to stop, but now more and more are coming out. It's just
I wonder if I could, I might have this picture. I wonder if I could send you
that one guy with the Vader stuff.
No, I could try to find his, but also I think I have what's sad, I say sad. How lame is that? It's almost like these collectors or celebrities where it's almost like when a celebrity
Some of them are, excuse me.
Well, like you see a collection, and then the second you see an update where someone either is getting out of the collection or has made a lot of changes to their collection, you're just like a little sad inside. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm the only nerd who feels that way sometimes. Actually, this might be a cool picture to show, even though it's not Batman or Star Wars related. It's prop related.
Don't need to see that.
See if I can find.
Sean, how about you? With I know it could be tough in your position as well, because although the figures are not priced as high, let's say a Vader helmet or a statue, that even requires more discipline because you can pop those things like Lay's chips.
I mean,
I'm hungry now.
I mean, you can just go to Target or Walmart and find a Vader helmet, or not a Vader helmet, but like a figure. Yeah. And they've done so many of them across each movie that it's kind of like just pick which one you want. I think if you're very focused, or if you just are a fan like CC is, then it's easy to find a spot for it. Which is what I was going to mention is if Vader is something that you want to make very centric in your collection, I think it would depend on, is it adding that value to your collection, not necessarily a monetary value, but the value that you hold towards the character and making your collection what you ultimately want it to be.
Mm-hmm. How about you, John? Like, I know you have like 3 or 4 Batmans behind you. Does it ever cross your mind of collecting the Hot Toys, the premium format, and the other scales for Batman?
Oh, yeah. I have all the Hot Toys already.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, get yourself checked. Yeah. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Right?
I just did though.
It does. I catch myself looking at the Tweeterhead Two-Face, and then then there's the Tweeterhead Joker, and it's like, wow, that would be nice. And so yeah, of course. But again, then it just comes down to budget, what's in the pipeline, prioritizing, and what I really want. I've come to learn this, and this is from many years of collecting, and it's changed drastically with how the edition sizes have changed. Everything will be there that you can go back and pick it up nowadays. If you see something and you miss out on it, don't think that thing is evaporating from the earth, from the Ethernet. It's gonna be there. All right, so you can always go back and pick it up.
A big example of that is that Superman Hush behind you.
Yes,
but
sir.
like the sculpted one, like everyone had told me like it's impossible to get. It's way overpriced. It wasn't like a low edition size. I think it was an edition size of 9999 whatever, or 999. Yeah. And people were like, you're never gonna find it. And then a year later I find it, then like a couple months later you find it, and I was like, man, that's all it took. It took some time.
DK3, You just can't panic. You start to look online and you start panicking. That's the problem.
Oh, that happened to me recently. And it was funny because I had a friend who was like kind of telling me off later and was like, hey, that art print went down in price. I'm like, you know what? I have it. That's what fucking matters. Like,
Your voice was straight. I'm sure it went higher than before.
wow. It was a Fifth Element print, and that's like my favorite movie aside from like there's a lot of favorite movies, but it's pretty much like tied, I think, with Star Wars, which sounds weird because like it's not. I think that's a bit of a cult following, and I know Steve, you're the one who doesn't like Fifth Element, right?
How
Or do you
dare
like
you?
it?
I love the Fifth Element.
Okay, I forget who was it who kept saying they tried to watch it and they kept falling asleep. But yeah, so this artist did Paul Mann. He has quite the following. He did an art print, and it was you had to be in person in New York at a special screening of the movie to buy the art print. And so I bought mine for about like $100 more than what it's going for now after a few weeks. And I'm like, but I have it. Like, I'm not going to be super upset that I knew that was the risk when I bought it, but I liked the reassurance that I had it as opposed to waiting and then having to possibly miss out on it, if that makes sense. That's what I wait.
I guess following what John said, though, CC, would you consider waiting for this helmet after it goes for sale and everything?
I don't think it's limited actually, so I could always wait. But I have points and those expire, so it's one of those. So yeah, I could always wait, but I have certainly been in. Actually, I was talking to someone else about another run that we're on. It's a maquette of Leia as Bausch, and it's really detailed. It's using like the original, so it's Lee Ralph who did it, made it. He's big in like the studio scale model world, and he found the model kit parts that presumably made the first one, the one that's probably in the archive still. And he said he was only doing so that's a situation where like, yeah, see yourself out, Jerry. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Jerry.
You might be a little forgiven because your user photo is a dog, but not
Not here.
could be worse, could be cat.
What? All right. There we go.
I agree with CC.
That's a situation where I was telling my friend today, like he said he was only doing. I'm like, what happened there? He was only doing 10.
He said he agreed with you, so.
The second he announced, like, hey, they're available for order. If you miss out on that, the markup is probably insane.
On the print? Is a print or the Bausch statue?
The Bausch statue, the maquette.
Okay. But that's
So
custom.
that's one of those, like, yeah, they're not licensed. It's some dude who's just making them,
For fun, yeah.
hand painting them. Yeah, so that's a situation. Well, kind of actually, like, I'm really tempted. If you guys have another topic to talk about, maybe I will grab it to show off my melted Vader helmet, because that was a similar situation. I've told the story before. Where
I do have. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, no. I got your pictures loaded up, and I thought this. I can't stop staring at this thing. This looks so badass.
So obviously, I got these from the hyperdrive. This is Randy's collection, or how he had it displayed before. I think he's sold all of this.
Okay. Never
Or
mind.
at least he doesn't have it displayed this way anymore.
See
Which I'm
cash
like,
there.
oh. That's not the melted Vader helmet that I have. He actually really wanted the one that I have. That's the EFX, the one in the center. And then the helmet, the Anakin helmet, I really do love that. The Pod Racer one.
Oh, yeah.
That's a Dawn post, I want to say. And then, of course, the Vader revealed bust is from Sideshow. The clapperboard, I think, is like unlicensed. It's a custom. I have the mouse droid, actually, that's in front of that, too. That's from NYC. I don't know who did the saber in the hand. But the Vader statue in the back and the Anakin in the front is from, I think, XM.
The trio, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they did a trio. So it was, and I've debated buying that. And then I think the helmet it came with the Vader reveal bust from Sideshow. I'm pretty sure. And then I think the signature plaque is probably Brian Muir's or maybe Hayden Christensen, the one in front of the helmet with the dome lifted up. But yeah, I think this is a beautiful Vader display. This is what I mean when I talk about like Vader shrines and stuff to live
Yeah.
up to. The other photo I sent you was his Leia. Oh, yeah. So this was like his Leia shrine. I don't know if
That's
he still
awesome.
has it. So the first statues, the slave Leia and the one behind the Bausch one, those are both NYC. And then I don't know who did the bust and the helmet, but I think this looks incredible too, and a great combination in both examples of like props and statues, which is I love that. I'm not too big on like statues just by themselves. Sorry, John. I'm not trying to just talk smack about certain people's collections. It's okay.
That's all I've heard from you tonight.
If you just collect statues or figures and not props, but like I love that the statues help bring context to the props, if that makes sense. And then the other, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I think both of those tell really great stories. You know, like just like the evolution of the character, especially the Vader. You know, you got a small statue of Annie there, and then the helmets and the different styles of helmets. You know, just kind of throughout the Star Wars universe, and then you know big parts of with the bus and then the statue and stuff. So it really tells a cool story.
I'd almost be tempted if I was going down the Star. I always say if I was to go down the Star Wars route, back down that route, I would do the life-size bus and the model ships.
Yeah.
Those model ships that NYC pumps out are phenomenal.
They're big though. I mean, you're talking life-size bus and big ass SKU scale models.
Well, what do they say? Go big or go home.
I know,
Yeah.
CC. Come on.
Come on, sister.
You're about to get a third helmet. Come on.
Exactly.
Hashtag triggered.
I know.
The other picture, I've talked to the guy. I don't know him very well. So what I thought was really cool is like it's almost like a Knives Out.
Knives
theme.
Out, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
So he posted this on the Replica Prop Forum, which I get a lot of my like prop information from. And what I love too is on the bottom left, you could see there's a lightsaber. It's,
It's right there.
yeah.
Oh,
pretty
that's cool.
Luke's.
I like
This
it.
would be like such a cool, like, first thing I thought of when I saw this was like cigar lounge or something.
Yeah,
Mhm.
his whole
the way-
house is pretty. Well, I'm only guessing because he sent me a few pictures of a different room in his house. But the what I loved about this is all of those knives are from movies. So I think the one that's on the chair is I don't think it's from a movie actually. I think that one's from a video game, but it's
God
like
of War.
Thor's hammer, and he had bought it and weathered it and repainted it to look a little more authentic and cooler. So
that
I've
chair.
actually debated doing. I like that it's. I think that goes into like the whole duplication. Like you could pick something, whether it's, and I've debated doing this myself. Like if I am going to venture out into things that are not Star Wars or Batman, could I be consistent with the type of item it is? Like this, it's weapons. Like you've got Doctor Strange's sling ring, you've got a lightsaber, you have a few different blades, you have guns towards the top. Like this is just a wall of movie weapons that he probably feels good that he's got representation from a few different movies he appreciates, but it's thematically all the same stuff. So I've debated if I want to get blasters, make it all just blasters from sci-fi movies that I appreciate. In this instance, it's knives. You know, the same character, if you're going to do the Magneto stuff and go balls to the wall with that, or Darth Vader. And how deep do you want to go into that?
This is insane. Never thought about doing something like this. I do love the shrines too. Like I always had like an idea of doing a shrine towards like either Superman or Batman. You know, collecting a quarter scale, putting a bust right next to it, or like either collecting a bust and collecting like little figures around him. But I love these. These are all three. I'm sure there's a ton more, but yeah, these three do it for me right now. So I say get the third helmet, CC, and
Try to create something like this. I've been
yeah.
did, like on a smaller scale to do stuff like this, and if I didn't say so, the two like this one and the Leia, that's Randy Gao. I think I'm pronouncing his last name right from the Hyperdrive, and also Collector's Arc. I'm pretty sure he owns Collector's Arc, which is
cool.
it.
Oh, Randy. Yeah, I know Randy.
Yeah. hmm
Collector's Arc. Yeah, in
Singapore?
Singapore, is it? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's really cool. I guess Sean, would you ever consider this for your 112 line, like a shrine type of thing?
I thought about doing it with like Power Ranger weapons. So like I have like the Gold Ranger staff right here autographed, and then I have like the dagger, the Green Ranger dagger, and the morphers. Just kind of like having like the weapons and stuff. I thought that would be like a cool, like subtle way to commemorate each of my favorite Rangers, you know, and then like Hasbro's dropping a bunch of those kind of things, you know, just and people make it look really cool.
Yeah. Didn't they just do? They just did a Magneto helmet, right?
Yes, they just they just announced it.
We're all gonna wear that next Monday.
I know.
Well, it's a shame. I know there's a custom project that's been like over a year in the making, and it's the same helmet. I don't think that'll deter people who are like on the custom project, but I love that Hasbro's doing stuff like that. That makes it like affordable props. Because have they done all of the Power Rangers or just a few?
They're going through quite a few of them. Once they got the license, they did the Blue Ranger. They've done the Yellow Ranger, her daggers, the Red Ranger, his sword, which actually goes for a decent amount of money. The Legacy one and the new Hasbro one, but you can still get the Hasbro one other places. Everybody's anticipating the Black Ranger's axe blaster that he had, and the bow.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, having all the weapons.
yeah, and then you could do like the life size. Crap, I can't remember what it's called now. The power up moment, you know, when they're all combined and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of the big idea. The power cannon, I think that's what it was. But yeah, and then I mean, you get the lightsabers too. You get some Marvel props, you know, just because of the MCU stuff. You know, they have like Doctor Strange's necklace. They have arc reactors. They have T'Challa's wristbands, or the beads, right?
Yep, I have those.
So, I mean, there's a lot of cool ways to do it.
See, that's something cool, like amongst collectors. We could mix and match. Like, I didn't know anything about that, Sean. Like, everything you just mentioned, like, that's cool. Like, I wish I knew. Not because I would, like, I don't have anything that represents that stuff here, but if I knew that earlier before, I think I would have probably collected it and made my little type of shrine for it. But, yeah, man, that's interesting. Because even with art prints, you could put them behind it, like, that whole shrine.
And even
thing
like
too,
my in-game display, I mean, that's kind of like a shrine for me. That was like a really huge moment for
Yeah.
me in Marvel history, just seeing all those characters come together. You know, you only really see that in comics, and to see something like that was huge for me. To kind of like rock my world, and this has kind of been my MO the whole time in collecting. When I started collecting the small stuff, I used to be a big fan, or I still am, but just haven't played it a lot lately. Is Assassin's Creed, getting the different blades, different weapons, you know, things like that.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. I blame CC now because now I'm like, I gotta watch Knives Out again, and I gotta think about a shrine. So.
Sell all your statues and start over again.
I know. That's gonna be tomorrow's topic. If you were able to press the restart button, would you? But yeah, we'll see. Interesting.
That's a good topic.
John, you could do like all of the sirens
Yeah.
together.
If
That'd
I
be
was to
cool, too.
restart,
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean like if you, I'm not gonna be Rashid and be like, move this, do this, move this, like.
Well, what's up with your voice?
Zoom in on this, show this
Wow.
better.
my God.
But like if you had all the like Punchline with Ivy, with Harley, like all of the women together, that would probably be cool.
Yeah, but then there's a vibe you get in the collection. That's too much power together, I think.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, with more yeah, you can. That's a good idea. And they'll display well because of all the colors, the pops of color between each of them. Still need a good Catwoman.
Yeah.
Harley, Ivy, Catwoman, Huntress.
Well, it's funny we went from like duplication to now talking about shrines, and like that's basically what I have behind.
It's not
me.
healthy. It's not healthy. This is not healthy, guys.
$90.
That's it?
Go get it. Yeah.
$90 not bad.
I know. I was like, should I show it? Should I show it? $90 for this thing.
Well, we should do that for Halloween, man.
I know.
It actually
Batman
looks
mask.
really cool.
It does.
Not a huge X-Men fan at all, but this is just like it's iconic.
I don't think my head will fit in there, though, to be honest.
Oh,
Mine
the
too.
guy has to get it.
The what?
Yes, the Magneto collector who has.
Oh
like,
yeah. He probably
Got
has
it.
it.
Fine
They probably
spot.
sent one to for review.
But yeah, I just realized I stare at him all the time. I totally kind of forgot. But like, I've got the Robert Pattinson one where I've got the Robert Pattinson cowl, and then you can never see it, but I've got the Riddler mask underneath, and the Batarang, and then like the carpet tucker thing, and then I've got the Christian Bale cowl, and then the Joker mask, and a few other smaller things. And then I actually do have a plan for an 89 display right here.
I would
hopefully.
love to see it. Love
Yeah.
to hear it.
Yeah, it'll be the Keaton cowl, Catwoman's mask, an original painting I have of Keaton as Batman. And then actually I just picked out 2 art prints. One I own. It'll go over here, I think. So I don't know if you'll see it on camera at all, given the angle, but it's based on Year One. And that's one of my favorite stories. So I kind of want an art print to represent like my favorite Batman stories. And then the other one that's going to go next to it is an older Matt Ferguson he did for 89 Batman. But that one's kind of expensive, so I haven't found it yet.
No, Terry. She has good taste, Terry.
So it's funny you say that. I've been so freaking tempted as a freaking completionist to just be like, I just need the cowl. Let me just get the cowl. Because I've thought about...
There you go, John.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
That's worse than the cat comment.
Jeez, that's 2
my
strikes already.
side. I've debated getting the cowl and just calling it a day. Because at one point I was like, well, if I have the Keaton display, do I dare try to figure out if I could fit a Keaton statue somewhere? I don't think I can. I don't think I have the space. I've been tempted by the Catwoman, the tweeter head one where she's laying down, because I think I might have space.
And you could get that, not to be enabler, at a really good price. You see them go up.
Yes.
Pretty good prices. So.
Yeah. I think like maybe $500. It's not. And I've debated the Ben Affleck one just to say I have off the, like I'm not going to mess with the Val Kilmer or the George Clooney. But if I just got his cowl, and there is one that's not terribly expensive that was licensed, I already have the Batarang. It's in my office at work though. But like, where'd it go? I have a section picked out for at least 2 comic statues: the Tweeterhead Two-Face, and hopefully a Batman on throne next to me right here. But I don't think I have space for another kind of like shrine area, if that makes sense. So I don't know where Batfleck would go, but I do have his Batarang.
That's enough.
Well, I don't know if you got the answer you were looking for, Cece, but it does sound like you're going to get the third helmet eventually.
I think I'm gonna just.
She'll have it next Monday.
Yeah.
There you go.
My rewards were expiring. Nah. I don't know. For me, just really quick, I can't duplicate statues. Like, once I got this DK3, I've always wanted the Hush Batman John has behind him, but I just can't do it. Like, it's another 3rd scale Batman, and that space is already allocated to the rest of the Justice League, and just I'll live that life through John. So
Who needs the Justice League?
I know.
I've thought of that one too, but yeah, it'll be tempting when they eventually do the quarter scale.
Hold off.
Oh, yeah.
Hold off. Yeah.
Because that's how I justify it. Where I'm like, hey, I can't. Like, I have 1/3, and that's talent, and they're not going to do that in a quarter scale. So freaking help me! Oh my god, if they do that in a quarter scale,
No, they will not.
There's
I would
talks about it.
complaining for a long time.
There's talks about it. Who's talking about
There's
it?
talks. I'll tell you backstage. I talked to Vice President of
Sure you
Prime One the other day. He was like,
They can't even
know
sell
your
the.
name, Steve.
They can't even sell the third.
"What
They're
was
gonna
that,
sell
CC?"
a quarter.
You don't know your name, Steve.
I don't know. No, but yeah, that was an interesting topic. Duplicates. We'll see. We'll see how far you get, CC. But one more topic for tonight. If you guys have time, John's topic for tonight is how and when to use YouTubers' advice and recommendation.
Never.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, guys. Great show. Have a good night.
Thank you, guys.
We wrapped it up under an hour. Yay!
That's it. No, but I want to know, like, how do you guys, especially, so this hobby, this community hobby, whatever you want to call it, what's built here. Everybody and their grandmother is streaming nowadays, right? And everybody has an opinion, and everybody gets thrown at you. Whether you're a veteran collector, a new collector, it really doesn't matter. But if you're watching content, because there's so many shows, there's so many different opinions. Some opinions you hear, you just want to rip your hair out and jump through the screen and smack the person. Others, are really good advice and so forth. But how do you filter when making a decision? How do you find that you filter through someone's, let's say, review or show where they're giving an opinion about a product? Like even today, the way we were speaking, how do you filter through that and tie that in with your own planning of the collection?
Really quick, if you know, you know. I personally shaved my forearms
it.
as soon as John said I should.
Beautiful. Well, not everybody at once.
Well,
It's not
so
hard
like,
to quit.
I didn't want to be. I talked a lot today. I didn't want to be rude. So,
Well,
but I will say, what's really
Well,
I don't do this consciously, but I do notice that a lot of the reviews I watch, sometimes it'll be on my phone when I'm like in line at the grocery store or I'm at work and I'm just between like taking a break or whatever, and therefore I'm not listening to it. So, not that I say like watch reviews and don't listen to the commentary. I think it's a good idea, because what I watch reviews for is to see better video close-ups of what I want to buy, presumably like a statue or a prop or what have you. And then the commentary comes second. So like if you're seeing that first impression from the video yourself, and then if you listen to the audio, that's when they can be, I think this paint could have been better. It's not very heavy. I think it's hollow. I wish it was heavier. It doesn't feel quality, like that kind of stuff you get afterwards. But if you're still interested and the footage doesn't scare you away, then I think you could take the commentary second as with a grain of salt, if that makes sense. I'm also just naturally incredibly stubborn. So I've been on streams where I've had people say like this statue's dog shit, and I'm like, I ordered it 3 weeks ago. It doesn't bother me because I like what I like, and I'm not easily dissuaded on that one. I don't fall out of love with pieces too easily.
I think for me, it's like no one's gonna tell me how or what to collect if I want it. You know what I mean? I think when I watch YouTube reviews on certain like 1/12 figures, it's more of a functionality kind of thing. Like, am I going to enjoy this? Is it gonna break? Should I look for something else? It's more of like I guess a quality that way. Like there's a Spider-Man or Spider-Woman, I guess, from the new Into the Spider-Verse, and it's big and it's like it looks like a Venom pool almost, right? But it's got a lot of issues. The paint's not all there, and it's really expensive to find it at retail. So that kind of swayed me from it. Like it was more of a want, but if it was like something that I'm headstrong about getting, it's more of which one am I getting as opposed to are you going to talk me out of it? What do I want to see more out of a piece?
Yeah, so for me, it's like I like watching YouTubers do the same thing. Like Art, the statue collector, he has an amazing camera. His like attention to detail on like his films are great. But like CC, like I don't mute him, but I like take his commentary, secondary to come to like my initial thoughts were on it. But when I like what I look out for the most is not to like toot our own horn or anything, but it's just reviews from us. Like when we do a review, we do it with like people. We're unboxing something, right? We're unboxing something together. You get like different perspectives all at once, and it's just for me. That's what it does it for me. Like it doesn't change my idea or anything, but it gives me more ideas to back up my liking for that statue, basically, or whatever collectible we're looking at. I know a lot of people don't like the XM Studios Emma Frost. A lot of people were talking bad about that one, but I had that one coming because I was like, man, this looks badass to me, And I'm just watching like this whole panel digging onto it. I was like, damn, like they hate it so much, and but I like it so much, But it's not gonna change, deter me or dissuade me from buying it or having it in my collection. Maybe I'll push it further back so you guys don't see it or anything, but it's definitely going to be joining the collection soon. And
well, and everybody has their own opinion on like what a certain character should look like. They're all pulling from their own experience, their own comic or their own TV show, their own personal scene that really like attracted them to the figure or the character or whatever, so you're getting all these different types of opinions, and I mean at some point you got to meet them in the middle, because you just can't call up the creator and be like, no, you need to make this and that's it.
Yeah, so something to like add on to that really quick is like I'd rather hear that panel talking bad about like my favorite statue or a statue I'm considering than someone just talking completely positive things about that one particular
genuine.
statue. Yeah, it's not genuine, and it's like it's basically like you led me on to get this thing, and now you're gonna
But
back
see,
off.
that's the underlying issue: is you should never be led on, because it should be what you think of the piece. Like, I say take. It's like anything in life. YouTubers, if you go to a store and you ask for advice on which TV you should purchase, or what piece of furniture would the salesperson would recommend, you take everything with a grain of salt, right? If you like a certain character, you're going to like a certain character more than another person. Another person may like it more than you. Just use YouTube as a tool as opposed to a definitive answer when you're building your collection or making a decision. It's a tool to listen to other opinions. The one thing I can't stand with YouTube is when YouTubers go after YouTubers. Well, this person's monetized and they're not genuine. This person's not monetized. This person's in it for the right reasons. Like at the end of the day, we're all kind of on the YouTube. We're all on the YouTube talking about the same stuff, right? But we all bring something different to the table. So whether someone's is monetized, whether someone's not monetized, let the viewers watch what they want to watch. It's not my position to say, hey, you're on YouTube for the wrong reasons or not, right? The viewers are the ones that will determine that and take that into consideration when they're making their decisions. Because you look at a few things, right? You typically the monetized channels with, right, their coverage of the piece, well lit area, good camera work, you really get to see like art's reviews are stunning. Art's reviews are stunning. But I find that too the way he feels about a piece is genuine as well. He won't just sugarcoat a piece and say, "Oh, it's fantastic, it's fantastic." He'll give his honest opinion, and when he does a live, he'll actually have panel members who he doesn't say, "Oh, well, don't say this, this, or this." Keep it clean. You say how you feel about the piece, but not to go on a tangent. I just feel that you take everything with a grain of salt and collect for you. There's no rules. You're gonna live and learn through collecting. It's a journey. There's no rush. I feel like people in this hobby, it's like a rush to build a collection as fast as you can. It's not a rush. You're supposed to enjoy this hobby. This selection of pieces hasn't always been here. People used to have to wait years to get a whole line, a statue line of characters that they wanted to collect. So we have all this at our fingertips now fairly quickly. Doesn't mean you have to move quickly. Think about it. Focus on your budget and collect for you. You're the only person that you should be collecting for. Not to be on a screen, not to compete with anybody. For you.
You know, one thing I always find annoying is like with the figures is when they say, well, this figure's better. This version of the figure is better. Yeah. And it's like, you know, maybe I'm collecting the old school classic figure, Toy Biz, you know, just to throw out a 1/12 name, you know. And they've already made maybe 2 different versions better engineered, better this, better that. But, you know, it's also like what they connected with more. You know, if it's like Toy Biz, well, that's probably a toy or figure they had when they were a kid. You know, or that just something resonates with them, you know?
I don't know, man. I enjoy going on YouTube. I don't know. I think it's fun hanging out with you guys. Those unboxings we do at late night, I do it in my basement, like fucking pitch dark down here, and it's just hanging out. It's for fun. I don't know how to explain it. I just think there's so much drama. There's so much drama that needs to be cut out.
I was going to ask Cece, with your Star Wars groups and chats, do you see that happening there in those communities? I know lineage is like a big topic lately for you guys, I've seen. But anything else that captures you guys and kind of...
You mean like taking things people say with a grain of salt?
Yeah, like influencing them or trying to...
So... I mean, like, we were talking about a helmet that we're all very excited for, and someone called us sheep because we were like, yeah, it's expensive, but we think it's worth it. So, I mean...
Stupid comment.
Yeah, Jeez. I mean, there's been that kind of stuff, but I think that it's not... To be honest, I don't watch a lot of people who just focus on Star Wars and do YouTube stuff. It tends to be more of like the statue people, but and the ones that I do watch, they don't really do reviews. They just talk about... I think it's maybe a little more transparent, but also I think maybe a little more transparent because the pieces that we're talking about when it comes to props, like most of the ones, the statues, the props, the Star Wars stuff I collect is not licensed. So I think... Therefore, I feel like I get more honest opinions because it's people who are not affiliates with these license companies, and therefore probably afraid to say, "Hey, this is like I only got this statue to review it," the kind of thing. Like I think the Star Wars people, they tend to review things because they want to, because they have the piece, as opposed to, "Oh, I just got this for the views." But
you as a viewer. You as a viewer of the content, let's say,
mm-hmm.
You know, right? You can tell if it's genuine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or you can align that point of view with your own.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. And I mean, I think whether it's about collecting or not, if someone's disingenuous on YouTube, you can tell. If they have like ulterior motives to talk something up or say that something's amazing,
it catches up to you.
Yeah, like I mean, it's just if you're like a decent judge of character or something just doesn't seem right, like it seems like you're being sold fish oil or, you know, something that's too good to be true, then
Fish oil works.
Omega-3.
I know. I was like, what the? I feel attacked.
is that not fish oil? Holy shit, snake oil. I was
Okay.
like, I was
like,
I'm snake oil. Like, what the
you need some
hell?
fish
So-
oil in your life.
I just I don't I don't know. I don't know. It's tough.
But yeah, I agree with what you're saying, and I get what you're saying. Where it's like, as a viewer, you could tell when maybe someone's just talking something up because they got it for free, or they
But
got
how
it.
do you know you're not going to be in that position one day? Not necessarily talking something up for free, but how do you know? Let's say, I'll just pull a hat out of a straw because, like Matt Ferguson approaches you and says, "Cece, I want to give you this print.
What's
I want
up?
to give you this print. I want to gift you this print, but I'd like you to do a YouTube review on it."
I mean, I think that's. I have not Matt Ferguson, but I have been offered like discounts because I'm getting something because they know I'm going to be talking about it on YouTube. So it's not like a far and away concept for me. But I will say I'm always going to be honest. Like if that makes sense. So like,
That's key, yeah.
but also if it's a situation where it's like a licensee is involved, like if it's a artist or something like that's first off that wouldn't happen because I make too many dick jokes and I say the F word too much. But those partnerships tend to come with a lot of strings where it's like, hey, you need to tell me what you're gonna say before you say it, or we require that you say this, that you mention something about the price, or that you point out this detail.
Yeah, scripted almost.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not like, I mean, I consider Michael with MYC a friend, but like when I got my Empress Nest statue and it had breakages, I didn't like ignore that or say, oh, it came in pristine. No, I'm not going to show it on camera. It's fine. Everything's fine. Like, no, I mentioned like it came in with breakages and I'd heard people had ones with breakages.
For sure.
And I also mentioned that Michael made it right and sent me replacement parts. So I'll give honest reviews on like the paint or the quality, even if it's someone who is a friend who did it.
That's what's key.
Yeah.
I guess to reverse the question, the same question you asked Cece, back to you, John. How would you keep it genuine? Like if you were being sponsored by Sideshow, Prime One, or somebody.
How do I keep it genuine?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just
If
simply
they
tell
were to
them
give-
that's how I work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to sell my dignity for statue reviews. I'm saying that now. I don't know what would happen in the future, but I can never. I really don't see myself. Yeah, would it be nice to be able to have a statue sent to do reviews on them? Yeah, but the review has to be genuine. You're fooling yourself. You're only fooling yourself if you're giving a review and it's not genuine. It will catch up to you very quickly.
Yeah, that kind of stuff does catch up to you.
It will catch up, and that's why I get irritated when we YouTubers go after YouTubers that are like that. It's like, who gives a shit? Let them do their thing. You talking about it's not going to change anything. It'll catch up to them. It'll catch up. Just enjoy the content. Just enjoy the content.
I agree where like I think if I were to do, I won't speak for, I think John would probably be the same way, but like if I were to do something like that where I'm told to say certain things and only positive things, you could tell that when someone's censoring themselves. And I think that,
Oh, well, yeah.
not that I'm like, you know, everything I say is fucking gold and like that's why people tune in to hear me talk, but like if someone who's always transparent and honest, even brutally so, suddenly stops being brutally honest, it's like I think people would not tune in because like
Exactly,
you start getting rid of the whole components that made them watchable in the first place.
And I really think, honestly, I think it's stupid for a company to go in with an expectation of, well, you can't say this, this, or this, because then okay, you're getting your reviewer to not say this, this, and this, but then you're just as disingenuous as they are, because then when you ship me the product, I'm gonna see that there's a crock of bull, and tie it back to the company the same way. So it's just better to be, straight. I take, again, I'm gonna relate back to art. Art did the LBS Iron Man, and the portrait. You said the portrait needs to work. So what did Jay do? Jay took the portrait and worked on it and fixed what needed to be fixed. Like that's the kind of relationship a company should have with a reviewer, because the company is using the reviewer because of whatever they're following, the way they record the videos, whatever. That reviewer has something that's beneficial to the company, right? Let's be honest. They're not going to just give it to anybody. So why not just be genuine about it and be upfront, and then give it to the reviewer early enough where feedback from the community can be taken into account and the best product can be put forward. This way, everybody's successful.
Well, if it was like a merit badge for being told off by a license company because we're too honest, that's happened to me. I won't say the company, but I have been told that, I think between how we joke around or how honest we are, that, maybe we're not the right people for the whole licensed work kind of thing. The license shilling, if that makes sense.
We're all gonna sit in a group and sing "Kumbaya." This is the best product. No, you gotta be realistic, because you're putting your name out there. When collectors get the item, and you're raving about it, and a collector gets it, it's like, wait a second. This is nothing. This is not what was mentioned in this video, and that's where backtracking starts happening. Big time.
I think also that's a disagreement between the company and the YouTuber, not the product. Like if maybe CC just wasn't the person for that company, to pep the whatever the item was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's not a bad thing. Just someone out there will appreciate the opinion, and maybe they go search her out.
Oh, you mean the company working with the
YouTuber?
With the YouTuber, yeah. Well, the company's gonna want the praise, of course. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just it's a sticky situation.
And sometimes nothing against the product. Like it could be a product that I continue to promote or buy. It's just the company didn't want to work with someone who is maybe a little honest in case they're not totally 100% enthusiastic about talking about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely tough, and I think it's something we could come back to, sooner than later, because Sasha just called me up and asked me to do a review on okay. I sold out, you guys. No.
Oh man,
it's interesting because
stop being the casual.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
like the fancy.
What's going on, Slifer?
Fancy nerd problems. Yeah, that's not. Yeah,
Pinky
copyright
pinky
that
nerd
right
problems.
now.
Yeah.
Unbox the statue, good sir.
Beautiful statue. Fantastic.
Just watch the content and leave the drama. So much drama. Just watch the content, and if you like it, like it. If you don't like it, just then watch it on mute. Because I still say a lot of people, there's good coverage of the piece, and you just need to be. Look, I'm sure Casual, CC, Sean, either of us, you can always message us and just chat and opinions on what do you think about this and what do you think about that and what this person said about this piece or whatnot. Like, just, I don't know, just enjoy. Just enjoy it. Who cares? We get too caught up in this whole who's doing what. The fuck cares who's doing what?
That was one of the best parts of working at the comic book stores. Someone's coming in asking for a true opinion and what you think about it, just because, you see it all the time. It's right there in your face kind of thing. Same with comics or anything, and that's the reliability
Exactly. It's
that
just
you
a
can give
second
to the
opinion.
customer,
Exactly.
or what we would call them guests that come into your store,
What's funny? I was gonna ask Sean about the YouTube reviewers for 1/12, but I'm guessing it's kids and them playing with them too. Like, is that it?
Because Zach a kid. Oh, yeah, I hate this.
No. But that's all I hear about is you can't beat the YouTubers that are kids, kid content, because it's they have 1 billion views on each video because they're playing.
Ryan's World is what we all aim to be.
Ryan, what is Ryan's World like exactly?
It's this this kid.
Pudgy's cousin.
It's this kid. It's this kid who would review games and toys and stuff, and he was just kind of doing it for fun. He had a real connection with everybody and stuff like that. And he just kind of blew up and started doing like just other stuff. He has a TV show and stuff like that on. I think it's Nickelodeon. My son would watch him, especially like during COVID, and he would grab some of my Marvel Legends that like he knew he could grab, and he'd be like, leg does this and this does that and stuff like that. And they kind of emulate them and stuff, and it's cool for the kids, you know. I mean, we've even told my son too, because you know, if you wanted to do that, you can do that. It doesn't have to be a toy. It could be a game or whatever, you know, because he's just so into the videos. Like, that's just a different. I think YouTube in general is just a new form of TV. You know, you're getting
100%.
the TV that you want. You don't have to sit there, wait till Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know, you can just YouTube it and find what you're looking for.
And the other thing I think that we don't understand is the amount of work that goes into this. Mm-hmm. Whether you're doing it for the wrong reasons or whatnot, there's still an immense amount of work that needs to be credited to have daily content being updated, uploaded, thumbnails, being in the chat. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So I just think we get, I don't know. We get too boggled down with.
I said this before, like, it's only work if you make it work. Like, all these streams that I've been having, it does like take up a lot of time to do them. But when I, you know, gather it all up, put it all together, and then have the show with you guys, it's more for the fun. I don't consider it. But like,
it's work, Steve. Come on.
It's definitely work. But
how many hours does it take you to put the show together on Tuesday?
I don't know, like 2 or 3 hours, maybe 4 hours sometimes, just to get everything, you know, perfectly. Yeah.
You enjoy it. The end result is rewarding. Because we're all together.
Yeah, but that's not the end result. Like, the end result is the time I have with you guys. For me, that's for me. Like, the time I have with you guys.
That's what's rewarding. Yeah.
If I have 20 views or if I have 1 billion views,
of course, yeah. Who gives a shit about that? Yeah, that's fine.
That's part of it, though, right? That's what the work is going towards. I feel like, isn't it?
Well, it depends on how you measure it. It can be part of the work. But it depends on how much of the work you feel is allocated towards that. So if your main focus is subscribers and numbers, you know what I'm saying? Or if your main focus is hanging with the guys and girls and the community and having like a good time, because I can't go pick up and do what I do with you guys here right now anywhere, because I'm here wherever I'm here, and I don't have people to go do this who collect the way we do. So we take a few hours every week and do this kind of stuff. And yeah, it's work to put the show together, but like you're saying, the reward is the hanging out with the people, not necessarily the views and subscribers. Is it nice to see a channel grow? Of course, because at the end of the day, it means that you're just getting more people together and building like-minded people, building a community and meeting people. Yeah, of course it's fun. But to say, oh my God, I'm posting a video, this needs to get 1,000 likes or 2,000 likes, or I'll be discouraged, all that hard work went to waste. No. I don't look at it like that, personally.
I kind of figured how to make things pop to 1 billion views. Just someone told me this, put Star Wars, or put, like, you know, someone died, or some crap like that. They're clickbait, you know? That's like boring to me. But like,
it's just not genuine. That's all it is. It's
the people, it's funny, but
the people are going to the problem with this is, if you want to grow a healthy channel, right? Because everybody, I'm not gonna speak for everybody, but yeah, the point is to grow, whether it's to build a community, whether it's to be monetized, to make this a full-time job, whether it's to hang out. You do want a growth, right? Or else, in my opinion, it's a crock of baloney if you don't want some sort of growth, because then just have your show backstage on a Zoom call with everybody, right? You don't need to go live. Why do you need to go live? Invite community members, switch it up here and there, and be in the chats and other shows if you really want to be part of the community. So every time you hit live, there is a direction of growth that you want to reach. Whether it's this much, this much, this much, whatever it is, there's a direction of growth you want to go towards.
Collecting wise and community wise, I completely agree with you, because like this is kind of my fix to maybe not talking to my wife about it. Who could only take so much. She goes. There's been many a times in our almost 10 years of marriage where she's like, I love hearing what you say about this and how enthusiastic you are, but I've heard it every day for a week. So I need you to give me a break for a second,
Yeah.
But the other part of it too is just the art of podcasting is what I enjoy too. I really enjoy watching sports TV, them talk about sports and be on the mic and give the opinions and stuff like that. So this is also kind of my little like way to have that experience and to learn what it's like to talk into a mic, learn to give my opinion on a subject and things like that. So on the art of the podcasting side, or the TV side, if you will, which is a lot more complicated, this is like my taste of that. Like I get to kind of experience it. Like, there's things that you can say, there's things you can't say, stuff like that.
See, for me, where I get my adrenaline rush is community members, and you hit the nail on the head. It's the podcasting. It's the nailing a clip. When you nail a clip and you make the panel laugh, that is, and the chat starts going off. For me, that's fun. And
if you know, you know, right?
If you know, you know. And it's not only that. It's even in the chat, man. When you get people say, "Hey, John," or "Hey, Steve," appreciate the show and what you're doing. I get emails, not from a lot of people, but an email saying, "Hey, we watch from back home and we're loving the show. You keep doing what you're doing." It's that stuff that keeps it going. Numbers are numbers. Numbers are what? You hit 1,000 subs. What are you gonna $15 or? Numbers are numbers. But don't tell me you don't come on YouTube to progress forward. For me, that boggles my mind. The intention to move forward is there, because then when you hit monetization, what are you gonna do? Shut your channel down? You better put your money where your mouth is and shut the channel down.
Well, and most of us feel like we might have at least a decent opinion of what we're talking about that could help the community.
Of course.
Some of us, we can't go down to the local comic book store. We can't go to the local con or whatever and ask somebody, what is your opinion on this? Or what do you think about that?
Yeah.
Have a good time. That's all it is. Have a good time and hang out and let everything ride the wave. Right? Just let everything ride the wave. Sorry.
CMP 2024 is all I gotta say.
Collect responsibly, guys. Collect responsibly. All right.
Rashi's gonna get me for that, but that's okay. That's definitely a good question, John. How and when to use YouTubers' advice and recommendations?
Grain of salt, guys. Grain of salt. Appreciate the content. Listen. Let me end this with one thing. Appreciate that you have content to even watch. Back in my day, I feel like a grandfather. Back in my day, man, it was statue form and sideshow freaks, just forum with pictures. That's it, man. There was no content. There was no videos that I at least watched to the way it is now. Of course, there were some big channels along the way, but I don't know. Just find a show you like, buckle down, and have a good time, and take everything to a grain of salt. Not everything you hear you're going to like, and that's okay.
Use it to make an informed decision, not the decision,
Right.
Yeah.
But you have my opinion that if you hear something stupid, just rattle that cage, boy. Go in that chat and rattle that cage.
Awesome.
What is it? Fallout Boy says, "I don't care what you say as long as it's about me." Right.
Wow, that's good. I like that. There's this bowler I used to watch on Instagram, or I think it was ESPN. Sorry, he says like me if you like me, but all that matters is that you watched me. So take that. And I was like, wow, or something about hating him, but like it was like Yeah, if you hate him, but you still watched him. So I was like, fuck, man, this guy.
Daniel Ricciardo, he's a Formula One driver, and he had a quote a few years ago. I don't even remember who he overtook, but he overtook someone, and it was quite a risky move. And so he was being interviewed afterwards, and it was like, what can you tell me about that move you made on insert driver name here? And he was like, sometimes you just gotta lick the stamp and send it. So I think sometimes like it's like if you have an opinion, voice it. If you think someone's saying something and it's not, it's a little maybe disingenuous or a little unfair to whatever it is that they're talking about, like go ahead and that's what the chat is for. Use it wisely.
That's right. Fucking grind it. Get the aggression out. Where's Rashid? Use the aggression.
Oh yeah, my bad. I need to get one for Cece soon. I'm gonna get a Formula One for her, but here's Rashid's.
Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow through you.
So much when someone talks smack, but then won't face the person to back it up. Oh, that irks me so much.
Welcome back. What's up, Nikki?
What's going on, Nikki?
Yeah, interesting. I feel like we could go for another hour if you guys want, but I think John's gonna.
Yeah.
It's all good, man. Sean, man, you're going back on Thursdays for small talk.
Yeah, we're gonna be on this Thursday. We're counting down to 100 episodes, so
sweet.
We're real close. Okay. So not all of that was me. I got put on about midway or so. But I get to see the 100. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah,
awesome. What time is it on Thursday?
8:30 Central.
8:30 Central. Okay, so 9:30 p.m. Okay, awesome, man. That's great news. What episode are you guys on right now? So we could do the countdown too.
We are going to be on 7 more.
Dang. Okay.
7 more.
So 93.
Yep, 93.
John.
I gotta do the math. I'm not good with numbers.
Yeah, that's awesome. Big congrats to you, Sean, and thanks for joining in tonight. Cece, how about you? What do you got coming up?
I thought I might be working Friday night, but it looks like I'm not going to. So I will be on group therapy over at Rogue One 6. We'll be talking about the latest in Star Wars news. And then I will probably be doing a print show hot off the press next Tuesday then. So we'll see.
Awesome. Yeah. So Tuesday and Friday. Okay. Sounds good. And John, man, going with your YouTube, how's that going, man? Are you loving it?
It's good. Yeah, I like it because I like to be creative. I like to do what I want. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
I like to be creative, have fun. So yeah, it's good. Club switched over there to the Everyday Collector channel, and yeah, I'm having a good time with you guys. I have one more piece to unbox from the Buffalo haul, but I'm gonna try to get to it this week. I was gonna try to do it tonight, but I have no energy tonight. So one of these days we'll organize it and get it done.
Hell yeah. 11:30, wherever you guys are at.
11:30 Eastern. Yeah. Nice and late.
What's your last one then?
The Freeze.
That's right.
Mr.
Okay.
Freeze, yeah.
I think we were backstage and John was like shuffling it around.
Oh
He's like,
God.
"You guys!" He didn't know he was on. Like, on.
It's on the floor here, ready to go. Like the styrofoam's out of the box and ready to go, but I just don't have the energy to pull that one out yet.
But John didn't know he was on mute. He was like, "What the fuck? Like, I can't believe this thing." I was like, "Hey, John, you're not on mute yet."
It's big. Yeah, it's a big box.
It was great. I wish that was live, but yeah, man. So another Among Collectors. If you guys ever want to join in with us, or if you guys have any topics you guys want to bring up next week, anything, feel free to. And Sean, John, and Cece. Thanks for joining in this week, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
No, man, but you got to keep going. What am I going to do, quit? That's not an option. You got to keep on keeping on.